Wow! That turns over 100 times faster than the old one.
You're watching the Kodokuna Raida YouTube channel, don't you?
Take a drink while
You're watching the Kodokuna Raida. Try it one more time.
Kodokuna Raida YouTube channel.
Kodokuna Raida.
Kodokuna
Raida.
Kodokuna Raida YouTube channel.
Without-
Drink is okay.
The drink is okay.
No problem.
You're watching the Kodokuna Raida. Okay.
YouTube channel. Does it?
You're watching the Kodokuna Raida YouTube channel.
Great. And one more time. Well, it's not a very nice day today. Look at that. It's cold. It's windy. It's rainy. It's about -1 degrees at the moment. It's not a nice winter's day. So it's a good day to be working in the garage on the Vmax. What am I going to do today? For a long time, with hot starts, this poor old girl struggles sometimes with hot starts. Now I've had a starter motor that I've had in my collection for about a year and I haven't fitted, so I think today might be the day. Let me get a light and I'll show you. So I'm underneath the front of the bike now. Here's the 2 exhausts, my horns here. So the starter motor is way up in here, way up in there. You see it up in there? So what I'm going to do is pull these horns off, get the bike outside, drain the coolant, and then we'll wheel it back into the shed and start pulling the starter motor out and try and change it over. Like I said, I've never done it before, so looking forward to doing it. Okay, let's get going. Okay, I hope you can see okay. So we've pulled all these water hoses off. Now here's our starter motor up in there, up in here. So this cable here is our power cable. Now, if you haven't worked on cars or bikes before, that is constant power. So once we disconnect it, if it touches any part of the bike, the negative or the earth part of the bike, it's going to short out. So the best thing is to disconnect your battery and then you'll have no problems. So I'm going to disconnect the battery now, which means taking off the seat. We'll disconnect that and pull it off and we've got no problems with shorting it out. But now that I've pulled these water pipes off, I'm going to get the bike back into the garage because it is freezing cold. Okay, so the seat's off. Now if you're not sure where the battery is, you've got to pull your seat off and down underneath your 2 coils, and this is your solenoid for your starter motor. Here's the negative side and here's the positive side down here. Now, it doesn't matter which side you take off because you're breaking the circuit. So I can take off negative side, and because the circuit won't be closed anymore, it won't short out. It doesn't matter, you don't have to take off positive. Just take off all your cables off one. So I'll take this negative one off. I'll pull these cables away that I've got connected to the negative side. When I disconnect the positive side of the starter motor now, it's not going to short out because I've completely disconnected everything. Make sure you pull your cables right away. Don't want them falling down. Now these batteries have a funny little nut underneath your terminal that holds it all together, so I like to put the bolt back in and it just keeps that nut that's underneath that terminal in place. Okay, so now we've got no problems with pulling off our starter motor and it won't short out. Okay, we're back under the bike. I've turned the bike around so I hope it gives a little bit more light to show you what we're doing. So this here, turn that around a little bit. This is our positive lead that comes from the solenoid that I showed you in between the coils up the top. So just pull this little cover off. Now, this bike is a 1985, so this little plastic probably hasn't been off since 1985. So be gentle because the rubber's split easy. Here we have our 10mm nut. And there we go. Now I'm just going to show you. I've got a 10mm bolt up here. I've got a 10mm bolt here. And the starter motor then should slide out. One 10mm. Okay. So I've tried to get this top bolt out and I can't get it out because of this thermostat housing cover. So I'm going to take off the other bolt over here, the stud, remove this housing out of the way, which will mean I can get this bolt out easier. Okay, I just took both these studs off here, off the thermostat housing. I just had to move it a little bit and I could get the top bolt out, so no problems. Now, also when you're pulling it out, the top bolt is the long bolt. Okay, I think the starter motor should come out. Now it's pushed in this way with a rubber seal, so it might take a little bit of tapping. Oh, there it goes. Oh. And there we have it. There's our starter motor. So that's been in there for 35 years, that one there. And it was just getting a little bit funny. It still feels okay. The bearings feel okay inside. But I was having a little bit of trouble cold starting. And I've got this other one sitting around, so why not? So let me get the other one, we'll compare them and have a look at them. Okay, so here are the two starter motors, and this is the one that I've had for a long time just in my collection. So Niche, N-I-C-H-E Industries starter motor, designed for power sports. Wow. So there it is, the old and new. Everything's exactly the same. It's always nice to put something new on, beautiful and clean. And that's the old one. Now, it might be okay. Like I said, it's a little bit of trouble cold starting. I don't know if it is the starter motor, but we're just going to put this one on and see if it makes any difference. Now, on the front of your starter motor here, there's an O-ring, oil O-ring, so don't slide it in dry. Put a little bit of grease, a little bit of WD-40 or something to help this slide back into your bike, into that seal. Because if you push a dry rubber on a dry seal on that aluminium, it can catch and scratch. You know, you just don't want to do it. A little bit of grease or a little bit of oil there and it'll slide in beautiful and you'll have no trouble. Okay.
That's what she said.
There we go. Help it slide all back in. Oh, Easy. Just slid back in as easy as anything.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets.
Okay, now I'm going to connect the battery back up and just give it a check, because we don't want to put all these water pipes back on and everything and it's not working. So we're gonna
I've reconnected the battery up. So
let's see if it'll work. That's the fuel pump going. I'm in neutral. Well, very exciting. Wow! That turns over 100 times faster than the old one. Well, let's do that again. Well, that's a huge difference. Before, wow. Okay, well, let's put this all back together now, and we'll. So when you're putting it back together, make sure you put new seals on. So this is where that goes into the thermostat housing, and there's a O-ring. It's all hard, so I just match it up with my O-ring pack here, slide a new one over and slide it back in. There she goes.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will.
Oh, there it is, all back together. So no problems. It was very easy. Nothing different. It took me about half an hour. So what I'll do now is take it outside. We'll fill up the system with coolant again and bleed it all out, and it's all finished. Okay, so I got it outside. It's all back together, and now we're just bleeding the cooling system. So we'll carefully watch when we see it reaching temperature. Of course, we're still very cold. I've only just started it. So now we wait and watch, and we make sure the system is completely bled and full of coolant, and then we can put it all back together, make sure it doesn't leak. And there we go, the thermostat's opened up. So we'll fill it up. There we go. Whew. Okay, we're going to wait one more time till the temperature gets up till the thermostat opens again, operating temperature. We should see this move a little bit, and then we'll be finished. Oh well, there it is, it's all back together. So I just gave it a wash, so just running the engine to make sure there's no water sitting on the engine anywhere before I put it away.
really happy with the change that starter motor made. You can see it all back together. There's no water leaks from the coolant. And before, when my engine was hot, starting it was difficult. Like that. I'll show you now. Switch it on. You can see it's up to engine temperature. Straight up. It's just fantastic. That was a great thing. I should have done it a long time ago. I've had that starter motor sitting out there for a long time. So I'm super happy. So thanks a lot. I hope if you're thinking about changing over your starter motor, you can see how easy it is. Doesn't take very long, and what a difference that made to my bike. Thanks a lot. Always remember, drive like you know each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. I'm going inside. It's freezing.
Thank you.